Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome on in to the PWTorch Fireside Chat, our Smackdown preview episode for October 7th, 2022. I'm PWTorch Assistant Editor Zack Heydorn. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for being with me today. I appreciate it. We're here to preview SmackDown, and it's weird. It's a weird SmackDown show tonight because it's like the quote-unquote season premiere, right? We've got Roman Reigns on the show. We've got Logan Paul on the show. We've got Sheamus versus Gunther, and we've got Ricochet versus Solo Sikoa. Three kind of really solid segments for the show tonight. But that's it. That's all. That's all that WWE.com is reporting right now. That's going to take place on the show. So one has to think that there will be more to the show than that. Although, I'd have no problem watching Sheamus and Gunther for an hour-long draw or something to that effect. That would be quite the match. So we'll see. What's up, everybody in the chat? Thanks for joining us, Dr. Ross, Sean, Azan, Mr. Miller. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate all you guys for being here and joining us, joining me on the show tonight. Yes, Azan. All indications and reporting indicates that Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma is going to be debuting on this week's show. So that's something. And that could be a big something. Why don't we just start there? Why don't we start there? Nothing wrong with that. It's on great topic. So that is kind of the news of the last couple of days. That Santos will be heading up to the main roster with Legado. I know there's been some reporting today that Zelina Vega may be a part of that group instead of Elektra. Yeah, that has not been made official by WWE at this moment. So I'm kind of talking about this from the perspective of that it's going to be Elektra, but I don't think Zelina Vega hurts that at all. And you never know why moves like that are made. I remember when Enzo and Cass were called up to the main roster, and they were called up without Carmella because WWE and Triple H at the time thought and believed that Carmella could be a big star in her own right and not just a valet or manager for Enzo and Cass. And the same thing may be happening here too, where it's like they want Elektra to get more seasoning in NXT. They want her to be an act that stands out on her own. Like that could very well be. And Zelina Vega, I mean, she's so talented in the manager role. As Mr. Miller just said, it's like we're one mind, Mr. Miller. She's so perfect for that role. I mean, she's a great manager. I think she's 10 times a manager than she is a pro wrestler. And this is her in her sweet spot. And I think that's really, really, really important. Not just for her, but for the act too, for Legado. I mean, there's a big time feel to that with Zelina involved. And a lot of you guys are talking positively about this. Sean jumping in saying, hey, that faction should be doing really well. And you're okay with Elektra not being there. I am too. I'm with you, Sean. I'm not too worried about that. Azan, another good point here. Do we need another heel group on SmackDown? I think she should have been a face. I mean, we don't know that they're gonna be a heel act, right? I mean, we really don't. I don't know that they're an act that can come in and be like immediate contenders to the bloodline, right? Like, I don't know that that's in the cards, but why can't they go up against Imperium? Why can't, if Gunther wins tonight, that's a Santos versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title. Like, that's compelling. I definitely would be in on that. So I don't know. Azan. I don't know that we know yet that they're going to be heels. They certainly would get lost in the shuffle a little bit as heels because, look, you've got Imperium already there, and you've got the Bloodline already there. So that's why I think you may be surprised and see them come in as babyfaces. But we'll see. We will see tonight on the show. Good topic. Yeah, and Sean, very good point. You come in as babyfaces and take advantage of that kind of the recognition pop that they're going to get. Like, oh, okay, like our guys from NXT are up. like, people are going to be kind of excited about that if they know Legado del Fantasma. And if not, the people who don't know will kind of follow suit with those cheers. I don't think you want to fight that. I think there's going to be some momentum with them debuting on the main roster. So go with that, capitalize on that, and take that as far as you can go. And then, you can always turn the group heel down the road, or maybe they get shipped over to Raw at some point for the draft and you turn them heel then. There's lots of options. There's just lots of options there. Okay, so tonight, in addition to that, we got all sorts of final hype for WWE Extreme Rules. Like, that's tomorrow night. I will have my On the Canvas pay-per-view preview show up later today, actually. So if you want to check out a preview for my preview for Extreme Rules, go VIP, PWTorch.com/go VIP. Would appreciate it. And you can check out a full preview of the show. This show, though, though I'm sure it's going to have elements of, a preview, it also has elements of like feuds that are happening in the future. The big one being Roman Reigns and Logan Paul. They have nothing to do with Extreme Rules, but tonight they both are going to be on the show and face-to-face in the ring to come up to promote and hype their match for Extreme Rules coming up in November, in about a month. So what are we thinking about this, guys? My thought is that this can go one of two ways. I mean, on the surface, I think WWE is playing with fire here a little bit by having these guys in the ring together so soon. Because Logan Paul is not in a place right now where it's a guarantee that he's going to get cheered by fans. That's what he wants. That's what WWE wants. That's how he's being positioned here. But there's nothing about his appearances in WWE that say, hey, attention guys, like this is going to happen. I don't think so. And so you have this situation where Roman Reigns is going to be in the ring opposite this guy who's getting booed when really Roman Reigns wants to be booed and not cheered. And he's Roman Reigns is the top guy. He's the guy that matters the most in the whole company. And what's worked so well for him for so long is he's been defined the right way and cast the right way. And now he's in this, I really think he's in this murky territory where, unless Logan Paul really finds it in him to cut a strong babyface promo, or unless, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman have something up their sleeve where, okay, they're confident they can get the crowd turned, you may be looking at a scenario where Roman Reigns is just cheered tonight and they've got 4 weeks then to deal with that rather than just one. If you wait and do this segment on the go home show to Crown Jewel, I think it's dangerous. Obviously, you want to have Roman Reigns on this show. Of course, he is the world champion, and this is a big show. This is a big SmackDown. This is the season premiere. It's all over the place, being promoted as such. So you want him on there, but man, he's going to draw eyeballs for sure. But it's just what lane is that going to be in? And I think I just don't know. And look, I think you're right, Mr. Miller. Like, look, Logan Paul is super talented. I think he is. I think he's got a knack for the business. I think he's got a good feel out there. I think he has a good sense of the audience, and I think he's in tune with like today's culture in a lot of ways. And he's kind of been okay in his matches, even like he's been able to hang with Miz and in the tag team match WrestleMania. But to me, the problem is not his in-ring work. The problem is he's such a heel. I mean, the guy has spent, I've said this before on our flagship Fireside Chat on Thursdays, he is a heel. He spent his whole kind of career like being that heel. being the guy that, is just kind of a pain in the butt and someone you wanted to see just get smacked around. That's Logan Paul. And now to come in and like try to be something totally inauthentic and also something that you haven't conditioned any audience to get behind, you may be swimming upstream. So I've got a little bit, it's going to be fun to see Roman Reigns. Like it always is, big star. And he gets treated that way, and that's important. But as far as the direction of this segment in particular, man, guys, I just, I don't know. Azan, you posed a good question, my friend. Would Pat McAfee be better in this role? Yeah, I think he would. I very much think he would. Look, excuse me. They want Logan Paul for the quote unquote exposure that he brings. There has not been a correlation to, significant increases in ratings because of Logan Paul and when Logan Paul is on television. But there is some buzz there because of what Logan Paul is and who he is and just kind of like the aura, for better or worse, around him. But he does not match up for an opponent for Roman Reigns, like because of the fact that he's just not likable. Pat McAfee, on the other hand, super likable. That would totally make sense if they could make that work. I think that plays infinitely better. Like I still don't think what did Sean say up here? I'm gonna find this. Logan Paul, God bless America, should not be fighting for a title. Yeah, and I think you would say the same thing about Pat McAfee, if we're just being fair. Pat McAfee, I don't think has really done anything at all to earn a championship or to warrant a championship match, but neither is Logan Paul. But I think from the perspective of telling a clean story with clean, defined character lanes, like that, I think McAfee plays that role just, I don't know, infinitely better. Infinitely better, just because he's this likable guy. I don't know if we're going to see Pat McAfee again. Like, they made a whole bunch of changes to the announce team. Wade Barrett is going to be on the show today as a commentator. And I don't know if that means that, that Pat McAfee's on to bigger and better things or what, but we'll have to see. He certainly won't be here while the college football season is going on, but that's not to say he won't ever be back. But I just don't know now that they announced those shifts. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear, how does this go tonight? Do you sit here right now and say, hey, this is going to be a thumbs up segment, or is this not going to be a thumbs up segment? This is going to be a thumbs down segment. I don't think it's going to necessarily be a thumbs down segment, so to speak, but I think it could very easily be ineffective in terms of keeping Roman Reigns as this super heel that he is, in favor of just this match, which I just don't know that that's a trade-off that you want to make at this point in time. Okay, more bloodline action. We've got Solo Sikoa against Ricochet. Not much to say here. There's no way that Ricochet gets the win. This, to me, is about Solo Sikoa, and I'm looking forward to this match because I think I think Ricochet can make Solo Sikoa look like a $1,000,000, like absolute $1,000,000. The guy can bump, he can fly around, he can really sell for Solo Sikoa in a very, very strong way. So I think it's compelling just because of the style differences. But I don't, as much as it'd be fun to see a really strong 20-minute Ricochet Solo Sikoa match, like this should not go very long. Like this should be a pretty sound beating on the part of Solo Sikoa and kind of just leaving Ricochet laying. Solo Sikoa is the project. And yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Solo's going to win and should win. I'd be shocked if it turned out any other way. So yeah, I agree with you there. I agree with you there, Sean. And yeah, brings me to Sami Zayn. Thank you, Azan. To Sami Zayn we go. It's been a bit since we've seen interaction between Roman Reigns and Sami. we get that tonight. And not only do we get that tonight, most likely, we get it on the heels of Sammy kind of, flexing his muscle on Monday Night Raw this week when it comes to Jey Uso, and kind of pushing back and kind of feeling like he can more, because of the fact that he's an honorary Uso now, and he's got Roman Reigns on his side. Like that, I think, is a really interesting little nuance where the person who has been wanting in the club, and hasn't been let in, hasn't been let in, and now he is, and all of a sudden, like, he's like a proud peacock, like, hey, making the calls and telling Jay to go ask Roman stuff. Like, it's just classic stuff, just classic. I mean, he might be. It's tough. I don't know. I am not sold yet, one way or the other, on how a Sammy turn on the bloodline should go. Because Todd and Wade talked about this in the fix. I think traditionally you want your baby faces to be the ones to turn babyface and not be turned on. But Sammy might be a little bit different because of the character that he is and the type of relationship that he has with the crowd. I'm not expecting this tonight. I don't think we're going to get this tonight. I think this, and I think that's the right call. And they've got a lot of other chapters to tell here, and this is just the beginning. So, so I think Sammy. I'm looking forward to seeing what they pull out tonight with Sammy and Roman. Look, we were worried about that segment, right? Or at least I am, Roman and Logan. But hey, in Sami Zayn we trust, right, folks? Like, if you can trust that guy with anything right now. So if he's going to be involved in some way, I'm willing to see it through and see that thing play out. Okay, last but not least here, guys, we've got Sheamus versus Gunther for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. This could be one where I'm putting down the phone and just watching the match, because we saw what they did at Clash at the Castle. Hell of a match. 5 stars. What's to say this isn't going to be really good also, right? You know what I mean? Like, this going to be a solid match. And I'm excited for it. And they've built up to it nicely, and they've told the story. This is, 4 or 5 chapters in. Like, this is good stuff. This is good storytelling. This is good WWE storytelling, I talked yesterday on the flagship with Tyler about storytelling in AEW compared to storytelling in WWE. And this is the type of story that makes me kind of go, okay, like, AEW needs more of this. Like, this is just a story in the middle of the card that has stakes, that matters, that people care about. And it's not overly complicated either. It's not, is this guy teasing babyface or is this guy teasing heel? Like, it's just straight up, Gunther and Imperium are the heels. Sheamus and the Brawling Brutes are the babyfaces. We're going to have a hell of a match. Let's go. Simple. I like the story. I'm really, really looking forward to this match. Sheamus is hot right now. There's no doubt about it. But I am going to side with Sean on this one. Gunther, I think, needs this victory. It's not that Sheamus isn't hot right now, and like, in a vacuum, isn't worthy of getting the Intercontinental Championship right now. I think that he very much is. But what is that coming at the expense of, right? Like, that's coming at the expense of Gunther taking a loss. And I don't think you want to do that right now. Also, the Imperium act, and Gunther in particular, I think, needs the credibility of I'm cracking up at Dr. Ross. You're throwing me off my thought process here. League of Nations reunion tonight, Sheamus and Barrett. Oh my God. I don't know if I want you to be right or want you to be wrong. I really don't know. But what I'm saying, though, the Intercontinental Championship on the waist of Gunther and with Imperium, I think it adds a nice little layer of credibility to that Imperium act. If they walk around no championships and they're racking up the losses, like, the gimmick doesn't stick as well and isn't as believable because they don't have anything to back up what they're saying. Here with the Intercontinental title, I mean, they do. They have something to lean on that they can talk about that showcases Gunther in the way that he talks about himself. And I think that's really important to getting over the Imperium character and the Gunther character. So for as much as I think, that Sheamus is in a position where he could win the IC title and have that, be completely fine, I don't sacrifice Gunther for that. I think we know what Sheamus is. I think we know where he's going to be. I think he's, probably about as hot as he's going to get, and that's not a knock. That's really great. But I'm keeping the title on Gunther for sure. In this case, so we'll see. We will see. The other thing at play tonight is more White Rabbit. Can't forget about the White Rabbit. Can't forget about those QR codes. I wonder if we get tonight like something more definitive in terms of like a code or a riddle that points people to tomorrow night at Extreme Rules, where it's not announced that Bray Wyatt's going to appear, but that the clue, if you figure it out, if you piece together whatever it is, it leads you to okay, Bray Wyatt's going to be there. So I think that'd be kind of cool. Just because it's time. It's time. People are not going to dig around for this stuff forever. It's already been going on for a handful of weeks. Time to pay it off. And so I think you want to promote Bray Wyatt, without promoting him. And that's essentially what they're doing here with these riddles and the scavenger hunts through the shows and social media and whatever. Like, they're promoting Bray Wyatt's return without announcing it. And so it's kind of brilliant in a lot of ways, and it can't work with everybody. There's no doubt. This is a, kind of a one act type thing where you can pull this off. But at some point you got to go with it. And I think we see him at Extreme Rules. And I also think that maybe we get a little more definitive direction today as to where he's going to be, how he's going to show up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm expecting some movement there as well. Gosh, yeah, it looks like Triple H likes long title reigns. Yeah, it does. It does. And I'm with him on that. I am with him on that 100%. The longer, if you can establish these titles, and by these, I mean like the world title, the 2 men's singles titles, the women's titles. Like, if you make them mean something by champions holding on to them for a long time, that's going to help you long term. It's going to help you draw ratings. It's going to help you make stars. It really is a major essence of what professional wrestling is. And so I think Triple H knows that and understands that. Bray in a rabbit suit? I hope not. I mean, I certainly hope not. Like, I don't know what that does, but I think, hey, look, and I'm open for sure, but I just don't know that I see it as on. Sorry, I don't. But hey, you may get the last laugh later today. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this thing goes. That's SmackDown, guys. Normally we've got like 2-3 other matches or some other segments to discuss, but I think that's tonight. So appreciate you guys being with me. Hazan, Sean, Dr. Ross, Mr. Miller, and everybody else who joined in and who's watching this on demand. I appreciate it. We are here every single day of the week with some type of live show, whether it's a Raw preview, NXT, AEW, our flagships on Thursday, every single week, 4 Eastern, myself and Tyler Sage, running down the news of the week, just chatting wrestling. So do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We've got new stuff up constantly. There's a handful of great interviews there. There's some exclusive content from Wade that's up there. And this weekend, Saturday night, make plans to join us live during Extreme Rules. We will be live with a Torchcast watch along of Extreme Rules. We'll hang out, shoot the breeze. I'll have some special guests popping in, and we'll talk Extreme Rules and watch that show. So subscribe to the channel, make a little hit the little notification button so that you know when we go live. And I think you'll be happy that you did. We've had some real a real fun time doing this for the last 3 WWE pay-per-views. And so I'm really looking forward to Saturday night. I'll be live tweeting during SmackDown. You can follow me on Twitter right there at PWTorch. Thank you guys all very, very much. Always a blast. Always a pleasure. We'll catch you guys next time.